Well, hello there. My name's Dr. John, a.k.a. Dr. VanLife, and thanks for tuning in. If you're in the market to buy a camper van, at the end of this video, I'm going to tell you my advice on how to get the best deal and get the best experience. I've been spending the past 3 months with my brand new 2025 Coachman Beyond. It hasn't worked properly for 1 day since I've owned it. I'm driving in a rent-a-car on my way back to the dealership in Sacramento because it's been there for 2 weeks getting fixed again. Now, this 2025 Coachman Beyond is the second camper van that I've bought from a major manufacturer brand new. The first was a Thor scope a couple years ago, and after that really didn't work out well as far as build quality goes, I decided to upgrade to a Coachman Beyond, which, as many of you know, is a premium brand that talks about their quality standards. Well, I'm here to tell you the first 3 months have been plagued with one problem after another. I've learned a thing or two, and you're going to want to stick around for what I have to tell you. So we're on the way to Sacramento to the dealership to see whether they properly fix the electrical system. So when we get there, I'm turning everything on. Everything. The lights, the water, the inverter, the air conditioning, and the microwave. And if the system doesn't crash, I'll be satisfied that they fixed the problem. Okay.
And then you can flush the toilet. You can do anything you want.
Yeah.
But you can see the lights are brighter.
Oh, they are.
They don't, because now it's handling that load better.
Right. All right. So with the lights on and we got the water going.
You can see they're not blinking anymore. We're at 13 volts. We're using 810 watts out of our.
This is Keegan, the service director at Happy Days RV. He was amazing and personally fixed my electrical system.
Through our inverter, you can kind of see we're using a little over about 30% of the max output of the inverter. You see the little graph there?
Oh, okay.
So like if we were to turn like a microwave on right now, you'd watch that little graph like jump up further.
So I think
you see it jumps up.
Right, 100.
Yeah, and we're using 2.25 kilowatts now, so we don't want to do it too long. the problem really is when you have this on and you have that on, and say you have a couple laptops and some other things charging, you might end up getting to the maximum output of this inverter, and then the problem is if you start exceeding that, you start tripping things, and then you have to reset stuff.
What would happen if you exceeded what the inverter could handle?
If you, like, for a long period of time, the inverter will either shut off or you'll trip the circuit breakers in the coach, or the circuit breaker to the inverter, which is a pain. So you'd have to take like all the covers off behind here. So you can see like the microwave, cooktop, the GFI, the furnace, and our main. So those, you could trip one of these depending on what you're running to load. But you could also trip the inverter itself, which is I think under this.
And these are which was the fuse?
The very top one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it just, like, so right now if you were to wiggle it, it's like real firm. And before you'd barely touch it, it would like fall out.
Okay. That was really the source of the 12 volt problem, which spilled over into
everything losing programming and all that.
So here's my take. I've bought 2 brand new camper vans in the past 3 or 4 years from dealers, from high volume manufacturers, a Thor scope, and now a 2025 Coachman Beyond. And I've learned a thing or two that I want to share with you. Number 1, the best advice I can give you if you buy from a high volume manufacturer is that you insist that the dealer give you a no-cost service visit within the first 30 days of ownership. I guarantee you, within a week of rolling off the lot, there are going to be things that don't work right, a sensor in one of your tanks, or a light that doesn't go on, or there's going to be something. And you're going to want to be able to go in and already have a pre-scheduled, no-cost service visit and get it in writing. I was promised stuff from my dealer, extended service contract, when I put down my deposit, and when it came time to pay for the van and roll it off the lot, I was told, sorry, we don't do that anymore. Classic bait and switch. It's really not a big deal for them to do this, and you will thank me. That's number one. Number two, I've bought 2 vans now from brand new, from high volume manufacturers, a Thor and a Coachman. And I've had problems with both of them for the first 3 months of ownership. And it really was unpleasant. So the next time, not for a while, but the next time I buy a new camper van, I will seriously consider going with a small company that builds them one at a time. Why? Because these high volume manufacturers, they push them through an assembly line. They build the whole thing in 7 to 10 days. And I've got that directly from Coachman. They build the whole thing in 7 to 10 days. And if one guy on the assembly line's having a bad day, a wire gets crossed, there's a leak, something doesn't get done right. So going from a small van conversion company that builds them one at a time, that puts their heart and soul into it, that really stands by their product, either building it out to my specs or just taking a look at something that has already been built, that might be the way I go next time. And finally, if you still want to go with a high volume manufacturer like Thor, Coachman, Winnebago, Pleasureway, you may want to think about looking for one that's only a year old, that doesn't have a lot of miles. Because number one, it's going to be 25% less expensive. And number two, they will have worked out all the bugs and made sure everything's working right by the time they sell it a year into ownership. And let me tell you, this is what you want to be doing with your van. You don't want to be driving hours to the service department and having to leave something you just bought for weeks at a time. You want to be doing this. You want to be living the van life. Anyhow, I hope this helps you. I'm just getting this channel started. It's called Healthy Living with Dr. VanLife. That's me. And I'd really appreciate it if you would subscribe to the channel, give it a thumbs up, and share it with other van lifers, because I really want to build out a community. We're going to be talking about all the details of this Coachman Beyond, and I'm also going to weave in healthy living tips, because I've been a holistic doctor for 30 years and I've got lots of good information to share. So happy trails, see you on down the line, and thanks for watching.